Seller contingencies. We're often asked if sellers can have contingent subject to finding suitable replacement property in their listing agreement. And the answer is yes. However, you want to be prepared if a better than average offer comes to you. So we recommend having a backup plan. We recently wrote a full price, all cash, as is offer for a buyer, and the listing stated that it was subject to seller finding suitable replacement property. The buyer knew this, but we wanted to know if the seller could be incentivized to reconsider, or if maybe the listing wasn't kept updated because the seller was only living in one bedroom. The rest of the home was empty. So we wrote a beautiful full price cash as is offer with proof of funds and a 45-day close. Or we were going to allow the seller to choose the close date on the offer. They rejected our offer with no counter, and that's okay. We let it sit a week and then decided to rewrite the offer, allowing the seller 6 months to find suitable replacement property and close on the purchase. And also added that the buyer was willing to move that up and close with just 1 week's notice because we knew that'd help with their purchase. We thought this was a win-win for both sides. The buyer knows that they're getting a house, the seller has 6 months to find a place to buy, and the seller's seller on offer number 2 knows that his buyer is fully committed. They rejected our offer again with no counter. The listing agent said that they were adamant about having the seller back out contingency, and I explained that the buyer just needed confirmation that they had a home at some point and that the seller can have 6 months to find a home. After all, they're only selling a tiny $275,000 home and they're living in 1 bedroom of it. I thought this was a great deal from a super cooperative buyer. And sure enough, I got a phone call about a week later that the seller had found a house, of course, and wanted us to rewrite our offer a 3rd time. And once again, they wanted that back out contingency. But they didn't quite realize that the buyer was just looking for commitment from the seller. Buyer, of course, said no and bought a different house in the same neighborhood. The moral of the story is this: buyers buying in a high interest rate market are committed and serious. It's okay to communicate your needs, but don't think because the inventory is short that they're going to wait for you. Buyers buying right now are only buying because their housing needs are mandatory and they can't afford to wait. Also remember, as a seller, you want the buyer fully committed to your home versus seeing a better one coming on the market. So it's in your best interest to wrap up that buyer contractually as quick as you can because they're a gift. If you know somebody that needs a realtor, please contact me. I do subject to finding suitable replacement sales, but I do it in a manner that's a win-win for everybody. I'd love to interview for the job of selling your home.